Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna start off this video by thanking every single one of you because with your help, I have somehow been able to surpass 20,000 subscribers. When I started this channel, I was hoping to reach, like, best case scenario, 1,000 subscribers. If I hit 1,000, I was killing it. For me to start my YouTube channel less than a year ago and then now have 20,000 subscribers absolutely blows my mind, and I'm so thankful to have all of you guys following me on this journey. You all keep me going on a daily basis, and honestly, you guys have helped me get through this school year. I am just so thankful for the teaching community and all the support you guys have shown me, so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. So in spirit of breaking 20,000 subscribers, I decided to film a video on the 20 best things about teaching. Now, I know that it's getting close to summer, and I know that some of you guys are anxiously awaiting a video on the end of the school year. Originally, my plan was to film that video this weekend, I swear. But with the combination of breaking 20,000 subscribers and all of the behavior challenges, I'll put it, that I've been facing the past couple of weeks, I decided to change it up a little bit. While prepping at the end of the year is important, you wanna make sure you get ready for the next school year, you wanna make sure everything runs smoothly with all of the events going on, that will never be as important as your mental sanity as a teacher. The end of the school year is stressful and it's exhausting. There is no tired like end of the year teacher tired. You're dealing with increased behavior problems, and honestly, you're just ready for a break. But what I think is the most important thing to do at that time is to surround yourself with motivation. You have to surround yourself with all of the positive aspects of teaching, because if you don't, you're going to drown in all of the negatives. So be honest about how tired you are, be honest with the challenges that you're facing, but then find a way to overcome them. My hope with this video is to provide you with some motivation to finish out the school year with a smile on your face, because we all know teaching is really hard, but it is so worth it. So these are, in my opinion, the 20 best things about being a teacher. Number 1, you get to develop relationships with your students. Ironically, this morning I actually set an alarm, which I usually do not do on Saturdays, but I got up early so that I could attend a karate belt testing for one of my former students. She was one of those girls that I just formed such a good relationship with, and I connected with her so well. Love her to death. I always will. Her nickname was actually Hot Mess because that was the best description for her. She was just such a unique kid, and I love her for that. I have never met a kid like her, and I will never meet another kid like her again. I am so thankful that I had the opportunity to be her teacher, and I know that she's one of those kids that I plan on keeping up with 5 years, 10 years from now, because I can't wait to see what she goes on to do in the world. I know she is going to do incredible things. I actually told her grandmother when we were talking today, save me a ticket to her high school graduation, because I guarantee you, if I can be there, I will be. And at the very end, when I went to walk to my car, her grandmother gave me a hug and she said, "You have been such an angel in her life." And there is no feeling that compares to that. Number 2, you have old students come back and visit you. I'm gonna tell a quick story for this one because it is the easiest way for me to kind of sum this up. I had a student my first year of teaching, little girl, who was very, very, very difficult. I tried so hard to break through a wall, but I felt like I just couldn't. I felt like she hated me. She had so much anger. She would have these violent outbursts and she would throw everything out of her desk, and she was violent towards the other kids, and I felt like I tried everything and I just couldn't get through to her. Then in the spring, probably around March, I found out that she was moving. And I will be completely honest, there was a part of me that was very happy about that because she had been so disrespectful to me, and I felt like I just never broke through her wall, and I knew that it was going to make my life a lot easier. As a first-year teacher with a rough group of kids, one less behavior issue, as bad as that sounds, was going to make my life a lot easier. So she moved, and it was a couple months later, it was right at the end of the school year, I got a call from the office one day, and they said, "So-and-so is here to see you." She had moved to North Carolina, and she had came back, and she was just visiting for a couple of days with her mom, and she came to the school to see me. And I remember walking up to the office, and I came around the corner. I'm trying not to tear up. As soon as she saw me, she ran up and hugged me. And as soon as she grabbed a hold of me, she just started bawling. And she did not let go of me for 10 minutes. And that made all of those hard times that I had to deal with completely worth it, because I realized that I did impact her. Even if she didn't show it to me at the time when she was actually in my class, her coming back a couple months later just reassured me that, you know what, I did the best that I could with her, and obviously it was enough for her. And I haven't seen her since then, but that one moment is one of those moments that I will never forget. It has been one of the best moments of my teaching career so far. Number 3, you get to see your students grow. As much as I don't like data and I don't think that kids should be represented as these numbers, I will say that it is so rewarding to see your students grow. As much as I hate BAS testing because it is a pain in the butt, it takes a lot of time, I absolutely love sitting down with my kids in the spring, reading with them, and seeing what growth they've made throughout the school year. Having a kid come to you working towards level and then leave on level or above level is such a good feeling, and it just makes it feel like you actually are making an impact. And even though day by day you may not see many changes, when you look back on it, you see that your students have made so much growth, and it's because of you. I feel like this entire video is just going to be me telling stories, so buckle in, it's going to be a long ride. But my first year of teaching, I had a little boy who had just moved to the United States from Haiti a couple months before the start of the school year. He knew no English. I think he knew the word hello, and he could write his name, but he did not know the alphabet in order. He didn't know any of the sounds the letters made. He could not read any English. He could not speak much English besides like hello, and that was it. By the end of the school year, he was reading at a level A for BAS, and I remember the first time he was able to read the book by himself all the way through. I brought him up to the front of the classroom and had him read it in front of the class, and he put it under the document camera. And as soon as he finished, the entire class just burst out in applause. And I will never forget the look on his face because he was so happy, and you could tell he was so proud of himself, and it was just so incredible to witness. Number 4, you get love notes from students. Let me just clarify, when I say love notes, I just mean those little letters that they write you and the little notes they give you and the little pictures that they draw for you. I don't mean like actual love notes. I definitely recommend you have some kind of memory box just to keep all those little notes from your students, because they are definitely things you're gonna wanna look back on. Mine is just a box that I got from Michael's, and actually just earlier today, I went through the entire box and looked at everything and read every note because I needed motivation. Like, it's been a rough 2 weeks. I needed something to make me feel passionate again because I've kind of lost that after having several rough days. And I'm so happy that I did. So I'm just gonna show you some of the things that I pulled out from the box. This is one of my favorite things in the entire world. My favorite animal is a sloth. And I had a student my first year of teaching, I think this was for Teacher Appreciation Week, he made me an entire card, front and back, just like covered in sloth pictures, and I thought it was the cutest thing. And it must have taken a lot of time, and there's more on the inside. And it's just one of those things where I look at it and I just smile, because I'm like, this kid knew that I love sloths, and he took his time to make an entire card decorated in sloths, and it's just the cutest thing ever. The next thing that I have is a thank you card that I got from one of my students' parents this year. And it was for Teacher Appreciation Week, and it said, "Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you so much for everything that you have done this year for our son. He loves your class and is thriving. We need more teachers like you. Thank you for going out of your way to make your classroom an amazing place to be." The next thing I pulled out is a letter, and I'm not gonna show it to you guys just because it has the parents' names on it, and I keep it in a page protector because it is that important to me. Little bit of backstory. My first year of teaching, which as you guys can tell was very eventful, I had a little girl who I loved to death. She was another one of those girls that I just formed such a good relationship with. She did not know her father. He just wasn't involved in her life. But suddenly at the start of 2nd grade, so she's like 7 years old, he decided he wanted to be in her life. And she didn't know him and suddenly had to start going and visiting him on the weekends. And she was so upset about it. She did not like going. She would cry like on Thursday, just knowing that it was coming. And it was so rough for so many months. And then in the spring, like March or April, he actually won custody of her, full custody. And he was living up in New Jersey, so she had to suddenly leave. It was a Friday, right before spring break, and we kind of knew like the court case was coming and all that, but we didn't know what the result was gonna be. We thought there was no way he was gonna win custody. And she had no warning. Her mom basically found out that Friday, picked her up from school and told her like they had to leave tomorrow to go up there. And she brought her back into my classroom. It was after school, so all my kids had left. And it was the most heart-wrenching moment because she, again, just like the other girl, ran up and just hugged me and bawled. And even my principal at the time said like he had never seen a kid like react like that. And oh gosh. So long story short, she had to go up there, but she still got to come back here for one weekend, like once a month. And the first weekend she came back, I had my kids all record a video for her, and I edited it all and put it together. And I had that on a CD, and I just made her like a goodie bag with all of her favorite things just to kind of cheer her up. Went over her house like late one night and gave it to her and just had some time to visit with her. And the following week, her mom brought this letter to me, and I'm just gonna read like the first paragraph because the rest of it kind of goes into details, but it said, "Thank you for your visit this past Friday. She was so surprised and caught off guard by your outpouring of love and appreciation for her as a student and individual. Once you left, she spoke of how much she is going to miss your smile, your rhymes, not sure what that means, but she giggled telling us. The memories that she is taking with her are lifelong memories. You and your class, under your direction and love, have made her unsettled life, a little less chaotic. She will have that sense of protection forever, and it will serve her well." So I actually have not seen her since that night, and I have ran into her grandmother who was basically raising her, so it was like her mom. I ran into her a couple times at the grocery store, and I actually still have her number, so I'll still text her from time to time and say, "How is she doing?" But she's one of those girls that I loved so, so much, and it completely broke my heart to see her go through that. But that letter is something that I treasure very, very dearly, and I still read it from time to time, and obviously it still makes me emotional, but you just don't realize how big of an impact you have on these kids' lives. Number 5, you get to experience light bulb moments. You guys know what I mean when I say light bulb moments. Those are the moments where a student has been so lost and has not understood the concept at all, and then suddenly you teach it a different way, or you word it a different way, or you just give them extra practice, and all of a sudden it clicks and they understand it, and you can just see it on their face. It is such an amazing thing to experience, and it will happen several times a year, and it happens every year, I guarantee you, and it is such an incredible thing. Number 6, you get to be a positive role model in your students' lives. This one is huge for me. Teaching at a Title I school, my students do not have the best home lives, and they go home to broken homes. They go home to parents who are incarcerated. They go home to family members who have abandoned them and aren't there anymore. And they deal with so much outside of school that I want to make sure for those few hours that I have them there in my classroom that I am the best possible positive role model. I get to show them what love is. I get to show them what respect is. And I get to create a love of learning that hopefully will last them a lifetime. And all of that combined hopefully will make them a better person when they leave my classroom than when they entered it. Number 7, you get to win over those students who hate you. Now, obviously, I don't think they actually hate me, and I don't think they ever actually hate any of their teachers, but you know what I mean. Those students who are just kind of more difficult, and they don't open up as easily, and they don't really show you that they care about you in the ways that we are used to. But when you finally do get those students to open up, it is such a good feeling. And obviously Knuckles comes to mind for this because he's kind of been that one that I've really had to work on this year. And I will say that the past several weeks, every single day before he leaves, he comes up and he gives me a hug. Even if he's on the opposite side of the room and he's been dismissed, he will come over and he will give me a hug. And I'm like, I have made it. Number 8, your students teach you just as much as you teach them. Now, obviously, they teach us dance moves like the whip and the nae-nae, and they teach us how to dab, and they teach us how to use fidget spinners and all that nonsense. But they also teach us patience. They teach us how to overcome obstacles when they are dealing with more in their 7 years of life than I will ever deal with in my entire life. Every single year, I feel like I am a better teacher because of the students I've had in my class, and I'm so grateful for them for that. Number 9, you get to collaborate with other teachers. Like I said, I'm so thankful for the teaching community that is out there on social media and in real life meetups that I've gone to. It's so incredible getting to collaborate with other teachers, share ideas, and just generally support each other, because we know that all of our jobs are hard, and supporting each other just makes it that much easier. It's not about comparing who has a rougher group of kids or who's doing the fancier lessons or who's spending more money in their classroom. It's about recognizing that our struggles are all the same when it really comes down to it, and helping each other when we need it, and just being there to support each other. Number 10, no 2 days are ever the same. And I feel like this is especially true for the primary grades. Your students will always keep you on your toes. You never know what you're going to experience with them, but it keeps things interesting. Another story, I had a student last year, and actually it was the girl that I visited earlier today, who one day decided to bring in her mother's engagement ring and give it to another boy in the class. Thankfully, one of the people in the cafeteria found out and saw it, and they gave it to the principal, and he's actually her next door neighbor, so he was able to return it to her mom, but it was just a hot mess. Number 11, you get to start over fresh every day. No matter how many rough days you've had, no matter how many times you have yelled at your class, even though you swore you would never do that, you get to come in every single day and start over. You can have the roughest day with a student, and you can yell at them, and you can have to give them consequences, and they can be mad at you. And I guarantee you, they're gonna come in the next day they're still gonna love you, they're still gonna give you a hug, and they're still gonna be willing to try again. And I just don't think there's any other job quite like that, where every single day you get to come in, you get to hit the reset button, and you get to start over, and you get to fix your mistakes. Number 12, kind of self-explanatory, you get summer vacation. Let's be honest, we all love summer vacation, but I know at least for me, it's not about going to the beach. It's not about laying out by the pool. It's not about not setting alarms in the morning. It's about rejuvenating yourself as a teacher, and it's about finding motivation again. I guarantee you, as rough of a school year you may have had the year before, after having a couple of weeks off, as soon as you see a new back to school ad, you're gonna be excited to get back in the classroom. Number 13, you get to be a lifelong learner. Obviously, teachers have to do a lot of professional development, and that kind of goes along with the summer vacation. Most of the time, it's not really a vacation because you are reading books and attending seminars and all of that to help yourself learn more. And I love that about teachers. Teachers are always willing to learn more, to get the newest and best information, and make sure that they are gonna be the best possible teacher that they can be for their students. Number 14, you get to laugh every single day. This kind of goes without saying too. I'm just gonna share a couple of small things that have really made me laugh over the years that have stuck with me. I remember my first year of teaching, I had this one student, we were learning about weather and especially extreme weather. And we were talking about tsunamis, and he kept calling it salami. And I corrected him every time. I was like, sweetheart, it's tsunami, not salami. But he couldn't stop saying salami, and it just cracked me up every single time. Also, my first year of teaching, I was doing a lesson where my students were going to debate each other. So we had just read the story, Mrs. Brown Went to Town, and my students were going to debate whether or not the animals were right to move into her house while she was gone. And I started the lesson by asking the class what a debate was. And I had this real eager student raising his hand because he was so excited to answer. So I said, tell me, what's a debate? And I swear, I'm not exaggerating. He said, debate is what you use to catch the fish. I also had a student my first year of teaching, which, side note, you guys, I think, know by now from seeing my vlogs, I have a cat named Luna, and she does not have a tail. She is a Manx cat. She is tailless. I had a student my first year of teaching who brought in, I want to say this was for like Christmas or something. He brought in like a costume tail that you would wear for like a Halloween costume. He brought it in for my cat. Number 15, it helps you become a better parent. Now, obviously, I do not have kids, so maybe I'm not the best person to attest to this, but I strongly feel that being a teacher will make you a better parent. A, because you get to see a lot of parents and you get to see what their kids are like, and there is a correlation there. And just because you get to see what works with kids, what doesn't work with kids, you learn so many different strategies that you can use, and I don't see how it could make you any worse of a parent. I only see the positives. Number 16, you get to decorate your classroom. Again, I had to include this one in there because I don't know any teachers who hate decorating their classroom. Like, I've just never met anyone. You guys know that I take a ton of pride in my classroom. I love things organized, I love things matching, and it just makes me very happy to be in there, and I absolutely love decorating it. And if you are anything like me, if you have known that you've wanted to be a teacher your entire life, you have been dreaming of seeing your classroom for the first time since you were like 5, 6, 7 years old, and there is nothing better than walking into your classroom the first time and knowing that it is yours and that you get to decorate it whatever way you want, and you get to make it a place that is inviting for you, and you get to make it a safe haven for your students. Number 17, you have a classroom full of helpers. I love randomly putting my coffee down somewhere in my room, forgetting where it is, asking my class, and suddenly I have 23 private investigators who are guaranteed to solve the case. That's one of the reasons I love elementary students. They still like to help you. They love to sweep the floor. They love to wipe down tables. They love to find things for you. They love to run errands. And honestly, it's one of those things that just kind of never gets old. Number 18, you get to celebrate a lot of student birthdays. And kind of by default, that means you get to eat a lot of cupcakes. Number 19, it keeps you grounded. This kind of goes back to what I was saying about student home lives. When you see what some of your students are dealing with day in and day out, it will help you become so humble so fast, because some of these kids deal with more things in their entire life, more challenges, more struggles than I will ever face and could ever even dream of facing. And it's just part of their lives, and they have to overcome it every single day when they come to school, to be able to put it aside, to be able to focus when they're hungry, when they're not bathed, when they feel like no one at home loves them or is even there for them. it makes you so appreciative of your family life growing up, and it makes you so appreciative of everything you have, but it also makes you so appreciative that you have the opportunity to be there for them. Number 20, you're making the world a better place. We all know that there are not many people out there who have what it takes to be a teacher. They don't have the patience, they don't have the work ethic, they don't have the personality, but you do. You are one of the few people out there who has what it takes, and you're damn good at what you do. You get to influence the lives of students every single day, and that will always be the best thing about being a teacher. So those are my 20 things. Obviously, I could have kept going for a really long time because as long as you're looking for it, there are infinite things out there that make teaching the best job in the entire world. But I'm sure there's plenty more that you guys will think of, so please feel free to leave them down in the comments. I would love to read them, and I'm sure my other subscribers would too. If this video helped motivate you for the end of the school year, or if it helps solidify your decision to become a teacher, please give it a thumbs up, share it out with other teacher friends or people you think might enjoy it. Subscribe to me if you haven't already because you don't want to miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for subscribing, for helping me reach 20,000 subscribers, for commenting and supporting me every single day in this journey. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video and for supporting my YouTube channel. If you want to check out any of my older videos, you can use the 2 links right down here. If you want to subscribe to me so you don't miss any future videos, you can use the link right up here. In the description box, you will find links to all of my social media sites, my Teachers Pay Teachers store, and my Amazon store, and I will catch you guys in the next one.